Hey, what is going on there YouTube? This is the Gaming Guy and today I'm going to be bringing you to a Q&A because I've not done one of these in quite a while. I think the last one that I actually recorded was with my brother during mid last year. So yeah, I am finally recording another one. There's not much else to say except for let's just get into the questions. Okay, let's kick things straight off then. So I posted this on the community section on my channel. I don't really use it that often. But I'm trying to use it more. Also, if there's a lot of sound, it's because of the wind. It's stupidly windy in England at the moment, so yeah, just forgive me for that, you know. Okay, so let's kick things off. We've got a question from Abdul, which is, who is your favourite Supreme content creator to watch? That is a difficult one. See, I do actually watch quite a couple of people, but if I was going to, I'll go for like a 3. That's 6. 3. If I was going for 3 people, I'd probably go between Jacob Starr, Boone, and when he does Supreme related content, I'd say House and Neville for the editing style and for the quality. But if I was going for someone else, possibly Chop Suey, I believe, yeah, Chop Suey. I'd say Chop Suey if or when he does upload, but apart from that I would probably say Astro or Astro Nori. They're the sort of main area of people that I watch. Basically the same, I can't really say same sort of content, but I would say along the sides of either the unboxings or the live cops or just in general content based around Supreme. So yeah, that's the most liked comment, so yeah. I'm also a fan of, well, he's a mix of streetwear, fashion, I guess, and Supreme, which is Sari. I'd have to search up his last name, but I wouldn't want to mispronounce it. But he also does Supreme live cops and stuff like that, so yeah. Next question comes from Louis. What was the first Supreme item you copped? Okay, I mentioned this last time, or I had this question last time, but the first item that I personally copped was from Spring Summer 16, which was the Clouds tee, but it's actually called This Is The Shit tee, or the shit tee. I don't ever really wear it that often nowadays, to be honest, because it's one of those pieces that I just like to keep safe. But I'll obviously throw a picture up somewhere here of it, like somewhere. And yeah, I just remember getting it. Apart from that, or prior to that, a piece that I was actually given. So where I probably started my collection was some of these Steep Tech pieces, which was for, I believe it was my 18th, but it might have been my 17th birthday, when I was just starting out getting into Supreme, which would have been for winter 15 time. Another question from Abdul. His question is, will you ever think of creating a Supreme reselling website like Seattle Select Boone's one, owned by the mighty lesbian live copper, or various other websites created by other content creators? This is a good question. See, I have the slight difficulty of I don't buy as much, I guess, stock as Boone does, because for the time being I'm just focusing on trying to get the live cops and then trying to work on my uni course. So at this moment in time there are no plans for me with something like that, but if I ever amass an amount of stock, I'd love to do something like that. Okay, next up comes from Ties. He asks, do you like the brand Palace, and will there ever be an unboxing for Palace products? I do like Palace, but I just don't buy it as often as Supreme. Saying that, I've only bought one piece from them. Personally, this is just down to when Palace does come out, I am at uni, so my odds of copying things are very low. Like, that's not a low, a very low, and as of that, yeah, I just haven't really copped anything from them. I do have the unboxing of my Palace, not a long sleeve, but apart from that, there's nothing pretty much for me personally that I've like got any plans for it. Hopefully though, in the future I can do some Palace live cops and unboxings. Okay, Taro asks, what's your favourite Supreme accessory of all time? In my possession, I would say the Kermit Medicom, but accessory of all time, it would probably be between the Kermit Medicom and then the Bible stash or the boxing gloves, because yeah, there's something that I probably never get, but yeah, I do like them. Apart from that, there is also the baseball, which I like as well, but that's maybe for a future time that I might pick that up. But yeah, I haven't really got like a specific accessory, so I'd put it between a couple of them. Alex asks, would you ever move into high fashion brands like Gucci, Balenciaga, Louis Vuitton, etc.? To be honest, at the moment in time, I'm not really into high fashion, just from a personal standpoint. I know some of the things, like you could say the same with Supreme, like Gucci flip-flops being this price, or a Gucci hat being like that price sort of thing, you know. But just personally, it's not really the thing for me. So I'll just stick with the sort of like streetwear fashion, which is almost moving into the high fashion end, I guess. Babo asks, are you going to wear the shower cap for the next live crop? If this gets 100 likes, I never normally ask for like goals. Whatever amount the video gets, it gets, and I always appreciate whatever video gets. But yeah, if this gets 100 likes, I'll go ahead and do that. What are you most looking forward to this season? The Hot Wheels accessory, yeah. Hot Wheels accessory, 100%. Okay, 2 questions coming from M4. So we've got, what's the most hyped or expensive Supreme piece you own? Currently, that would probably be between a couple of items to do with Supreme. On the hyped end, obviously the box logo is one of the pieces, and also expensive, obviously. At the same time, I have the ice blue box logo hoodie. Apart from that, I would probably have to put the Steep Tech set, because I've got the like jacket, the bottoms or the pants, and the cap. So they probably as a set be the most expensive things, but probably between the 2 box logos, or I don't really know, maybe the Supreme phone posits, but I don't think they've got as high as a price as the box logos. But yeah. What university do you study at? Brighton. Plain and simple. Got a question from, or 3 questions from Ron actually. What's the best Supreme item you've manually copped? That actually, going back onto M4's question, the Fall Winter 17 Mountain Parker is probably one of the most expensive, which is leaning between like 850 to £1,000. So yeah, there is that. I completely forgot about that. What's the best Supreme item you have manually copped? Either between the forest green or the dark green box logo, the Fall Winter 17 Mountain Parker, the North Face from Fall Winter 18. Apart from that, I don't really know if there's anything else that's crazy insane that I've copped, but there'll probably be some people who point things out. But yeah, that is that. Do you think Supreme resale is dying out gradually? Well, to be honest, it depends what you define as the sort of resale. Personally, on a majority of older pieces and pieces that are still coming out, they still have profit. It's just that people will want to sell their items straight away nowadays, which has always been the sort of thing, like you flip within a week or within the first day. But yeah, currently the profit side isn't as high as what it might have been on some past, you know, item releases. But that's just going to happen because a lot of people are getting into Supreme nowadays. What is your personal Supreme grail that you own or want to buy? In the past, it used to be the Jordan Varsity. However, I found out that they weren't the best quality side. So yeah, that went out the window. So I got the Motion Varsity instead. But a grail for me personally, I would probably either say one of the bandanas, being like the black bandana, maybe the red, but that's more my brother's side, or the grey leopard naps, which yeah, that's always going to be a grail for me. At the point where I can afford to get one, I will happily pick one up. I'm guessing it's Louis I'm going with, I don't want to mispronounce. Louis asks, what am I most anticipated, or what is the most anticipated item for this season for me? Personally, just the Hot Wheels piece. Apart from that, there is the Grand Prix Parker or jacket that I'm interested in getting. But yeah, that is that for me. Whole Grain asks, how many beanies do you have and what one is your favorite? I think I answered this the other day on Discord, but I think I have 8 beanies, maybe 9 beanies. My favorite one is the one that my family got me for Christmas, which is the forest green, dark green box logo. Obviously, I still have the black box logo, which I copped, but that will probably be sold later on in the year. So one that I'd probably wear a lot is from Fall Winter 12, I believe, which is a blue, just plain blue beanie that I've got. And yeah, I've worn it a ton of times, and that's probably one of my favorite ones out of all of the ones that I've got, just because I've worn it a load of times. I would go through each beanie, but 3 of them are box logos. I've then just got the North Face one. I can't list them off by heart or like off my mind, but yeah, there are quite a couple that I've got, so yeah. It's Hype asks, if you could have one box logo, which one would it be? Personally, I would want the Paris 2016, I think it was the spring summer box logo. I really do like that piece. It's not the most expensive in the world, but I do just really like it. I'm also a fan of the Jackson Pollock box logo. It's just a personal preference for me. I really do like that one. There also is the Sopranos one, but that's me just going over the top. So yeah, it'd either be the Paris, the Jackson Pollock, or the Sopranos. Sam asked, what got you into Supreme and what screen recorder do you use? My brother and his friends got me into Supreme when I was doing my A-levels. Basically, there would always be one of my brother's friends in my lessons next to me or just behind me on one of the computers, and he'd always be like, Supreme drops coming, Supreme drops coming, and he tried to get things and then he'd normally like not really get the things, or he'd get an item or two and then I'd hear him calling my brother or messaging my brother. At the time, it didn't really click in my head of what was going on until probably a year or two later. So I knew of Supreme probably 5 or 6 years ago, but I got into it properly about 4 years ago now, or this year will be 4 years ago now. But yeah, I knew about it for like a solid year or two, but I just hadn't really gone into it because I was so focused on really just playing games and my studying at the time. And to record my screen, I use OBS. There is an update which is the Streamlabs OBS, which I also stream with now, which is just a bit more streamlined and everything. So yeah, it's good, it's useful. What has been your favourite Supreme collaboration? Oh, favourite Supreme collaboration. I'd probably have to say the Leopard Nuts again, but on the same sort of list, I'd be able to put the 2011 Playboy Varsity. I think that collaboration, or the Playboy collaboration from 2011, was really good, and the pieces from it are great. Apart from that, I really do like the White Castle collaboration. I'm still trying to get a tee off my brother that he's still got, but I'm a massive fan of that Supreme collaboration. Then I would probably have to put also the Supreme 360 toys. I think they're called the Camachos, collaboration from 2002, but don't hold me to that. I think along the side of it being an accessory, it's just an extremely cool accessory, and it's on the grail list, I would say, for accessories for me personally. Those are the first amount of questions, and I've just got a couple more here that I will fire through pretty much. So these are all from Trivia Man but Bag Man on Discord. So let's get into them. Do people ever look at you weird when you're wearing a Supreme item? How do you react to it? I had this the other day actually, where I was on a bus heading home from uni. I was wearing just, I believe, the Supreme Sumo tee alongside with a pair of Yeezys and just a normal jacket that I've got, a Supreme jacket, which doesn't spell out Supreme massively. You wouldn't know unless you knew the piece specifically. There wasn't really anything odd about what I was wearing. I was just sitting doing my own thing, but I did massively hear the person on the phone decide to say out loud that there's a guy in designer stuff, designer shoes, called me a prick, not saying it to me, but saying it loud enough that I could hear it, and I'm sure a majority of people on the bus could hear it. And yeah, I reacted to it by just sitting there. I haven't really had any weird occurrences with wearing a Supreme or anything. I've had people do like double looks at things where I've worn like the Ice Blue box logo and had people do like a double look, like looking back and forth. But apart from that, I haven't really had anything that I'd call weird, which I'm probably fortunate for, that I haven't had any people do like craziest reactions or crazy reactions to what I've got on. What was the scariest live cop you've ever done? It would have probably been the Fall Winter 17 Mountain Parker if I was really like in the know of Supreme when that did drop. But to be honest, I was quite calm going for it. So I'd probably say that either the Comme des Garçons box logo, the North Face jacket or the fleece jacket, or the box logo from Fall Winter 18 are probably the scariest ones or the most stressful ones. Have you ever considered doing live cops for other items? I have considered doing them for like Palace, Cozi, I've thought about, but to be honest, I haven't really had any massive intention of going for things or for recording them. I've thought about doing it for like shoes and things that are coming out, but I have either missed when they've released, or I've just missed by waking up too late, so yeah. Have you ever been scammed for Supreme? I was nearly scammed, but I got my money back on a pair of the world famous, they were the world famous Air Force One highs. They were in red. I picked them up for a steal off of Depop. However, after they arrived, the box did not check out in any way, and it took me about a week and a half to get my money back on them after I realized they were fake, so yeah. Do people judge you for how much you spend on Supreme? I have had some people judge me for, you know, me buying Supreme and such. But to be honest, it's probably one of my only main, I guess you could say, hobbies at this moment in time. Is just collecting Supreme, either buying it, then selling it, or just keeping it and storing it. So it's what I'm happy to spend my money on. So if they do judge me, then they judge me, and that's that. Have you considered changing your name? Yes, a ton of times, to like either the Supreme guy or Supreme Live Copper or something like that, or along the lines of that. But I've been thinking of more of like a streetwear type name, but I just can't decide anything, so I'm just going to stay with what I'm at this moment in time. What are you in university for? Digital media design, the BA honours course. It's my last 4 or 5 months now, so I was hoping to try to come out with a first in it. However, I didn't do too well on the first assignment, so as of that, yeah, I get a real lack of motivation for some things. So as of that, I'm trying to keep up to get a 2-1 instead. So that's the hope. Do you have a job? Not at this moment in time, no. I used to have 2 part-time jobs while I was doing my A-levels, but yeah, they stopped when I started my university course because I needed the time for them, and I just wasn't in the right state of mind or frame of mind, so I just stopped, and the money that I had from them I then put into Supreme, which then sort of got me into that and started to build some money from it. But yeah, now I just sell when I need to sell, and yeah, that's that. Where do you live? In England, in the southeast. The county is East Sussex. I'm not going to give any specifics, but yeah, that's the most that you will get out of me for that. So that is going to cover this Q&A. It's a little bit long, tiny bit long. I'll try and make it as short as possible, but that is going to cover it. As I said, if it does hit 100 likes, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It doesn't really bother me too much. I just want to say thank you for 7,900 subscribers. We're nearly at 8,000. We're really close to it, which is amazing. And yeah, apart from that, also, I would like to do another Q&A at some point, but do like a wired version with my brother. I'd take the time to set it up and get it all ready, but I think that'd be quite fun to do. So yeah, if you'd like to see one of those, I'd happily do that in a couple of months' time. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, it'd like to be much appreciated. And yeah, I'll probably see you tomorrow for another video. And an unboxing should hopefully be out on Wednesday. So yeah, I'll see you all next time. Peace. Also, thank you for all the questions. I really do appreciate it. So yeah, peace.